One and all, welcome back. It is time, the return of the Canadians to the midweek musters. That's right. Because over on the east side, in the blue, kicking us off as the Mongols, we have got Wham. I was trying to fast toggle onto his TC. For some reason it wasn't working because he wasn't actually deployed yet. Dumo on the other side has gone for House of Lancaster. New map here, folks. We are in Excavation, a map that features 8 Forgotten Ruins locations. These are the ones where you garrison inside with a village and you gather stone. And after 6 minutes, a relic will spawn in its place. Really interesting detail is so far, actually, these excavation sites have never really been about the relics. It's comical, actually. When we see them, it's about stone strategies. And 2 lead-of-the-pack civs for this map. The 2 most picked so far, the 2 featured in this game. Now, Mongols might be a bit obvious to people. Uvu, give stone, double production, better versions of techs, a lot of value for stone gen. Lancaster is actually a little bit more subtle at first, but then you go, of course. For Lancaster, it's about stone gen, so they can afford those manors, easy peasy. And that's why you're seeing Doom already opening up with Iraqs here, so that you can capture these, because you do have to stand in range of them for a while. Mongols have an alternate strategy if they have a good spawn. We saw Wham do this earlier today, where you can just walk your villages out and gather a sheep or gold or whatever nearby. Unfortunately for him, the gold spawn this time around, not so kind for that idea. But in theory, this can work quite well for Mongols, is that you can waddle a gur over here and then club a sheep on the edge, and then have them just clipped in range to capture. So keep an eye out for that. Maybe try it yourself if you have correct maps for it. I don't think currently in rank queue there's any maps, if I'm correct, that have the ruins point of interest. The only way you can play it in queuing up pub matches right now is to play land mega random. So that's not a reliable way of seeing how good or bad it is, because land mega random, as the name suggests, is completely random. That's why I still chuckle when people oh, these points of interest are OP. It's well, hold on there, lad. Why are they OP? What did you do? Yeah, I played a pub free-for-all game, and he spawned broken. Got it. So you played a mega random map, and then the spawn was broken. It's not a very good indication of how balanced ruins and other POIs are. Ton of food for Lancaster. It always is. It's almost like the house is rigged. Because remember, this is a civ that starts with an extra 4 sheep compared to any other civ in the game. Which means you can stay out for longer. And oh my god, it's disastrous for Wham. Only 6 sheep? Bro, what have you been scouting? Is there anything left? Not where he's scouting, there isn't. He's running into already covered territory. Yes, so this is an atrocious start for Wham. I mean, I know how Wham feels about sheep as well. It wouldn't be the first time, 7 minutes in, I see a GG because no sheep. Deer shop's going to come in. Yeah, that's the other thing as well, by the way. What the hell is that? I don't know. I'm looking at this and Wham just has very little positive about his spawn here. Silver Tree is going to be deployed as the landmark choice. Yeah, I'm kind of okay with this. You know, it's the way you can try to mirror out against manors, and also you just need to play greed, I think. You're just so far behind if you try to play off of this spawn. It doesn't make sense. I mean, in fairness, by the way, Point was yeah, this is ultra rigged. Look how much closer the deer were, etc. for Dimmu. You do have to remember that this Mongol TC started what, here? It was meant to be here. So he wheeled it quite a bit, which is why things feel so far away. And that's the trade-off. Sometimes for Mongols, that can lead to deer looking brokenly close to your starting TC. And other times, fortune does not favor the bold. This map looks huge. I think the reason why it looks huge is going to be more to do with the lack of big fat tree lines or cliff sides, etc. It is standard sizing on maps, but this is also the optical illusion where prairie is technically not larger than dry Arabia. To my understanding, it just kind of looks it. All right, looks like Wham is going to be going for the Magadai. Yeah, but we have 0 Forgotten Runes so far, so no big stone gen to accelerate the count. Dimmu. Won't really feel pressure against a trickler Magadai. If you can get to the point where you can dive under all the manas, you can actually kill quite a few villagers because they'll be pretty loose from safety. It's so difficult. Especially if you don't start with 2 or 3 Forgotten Runes being captured. Do you think the semi-random placement of resources swings games too much? It can do. You know, we like to act as if having these random spawns keeps the game quirky and original, etc. But the problem you run into is as people optimize their game strategies and they reach a fulfilled and figured out meta, what you end up left with is a situation where just a slightly more favorable spawn can be decisive in the game. Now, the beautiful thing is AoE4 has so many variables that very rarely do 2 games feel alike to the truest degree. But there is an argument that as the meta continues to trend, and this is why I've been very vocal about Dry Arabia being maybe overrated and played a bit too much, is you reach a consensus on how the map has to be approached. And that can make games very linear, where small details go a lot further than when you introduce new maps like this and people have to figure things out. So Spears are trying to be a little bit annoying on the traders. He did actually somehow manage to fish a Magadai kill. I'm pretty impressed by that. But for Dimmu, this is just going to be like a little bit of a nuisance, a delay on any pressure arriving on his side while he now sets up manas. Because once these manas are up, this area has become very hard to dive. If he can get a few worker kills, he's happy with that. Because the reality check is like he only really wanted these spearmen to capture the Forgotten Runes. So, yeah, mission accomplished. And by doing this, you can see the other knock-on effect is he actually gets more. Because this is not getting decapped for longer. But you know what I'm getting more of? Viewers! What is up, Chiquino? Appreciate you. Thank you very much for the raid. I hope you had a good stream. Welcome one and all to Excavation. And welcome one and all to what might end up being Lancaster's best competitive map. The more I'm seeing it, man. Remember, these generate better than a standard villager. You get 60 stone a minute for bringing a villager out here. You know, a standard villager at this stage is getting no more than 40 resources a minute. When you equate for, you know, walking distance and things like that. Why is Dimmu? Oh. he's looking at grief. So if Wham ever does max trade, he'll be there to block it. Unfortunately for Dimmu, I guess not actually unfortunately, Wham doesn't want to get good trade. He's just sticking with this. This is horrible. 22 gold. I might have to make some more tweaks on the new chat. I don't know how I feel about like how fixed the gaps are between some of these lines. I want to smush all your words together. All right, looks like we do get the decap. The villager, wait, run, run! No, 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 not Timmy. Anyone but Timmy. I mean, for a second there, it looked like Wham wasn't gonna notice. Yeomen are now here. So, although Wham did get a worker kill, like the problem at this stage is your opponent already has 3 manas. And he's got access to bulk another 3. And he does still have 1 Forgotten Runes activated, so he will gradually get into those manas. You have, however, slowed down the pacing slightly. Just maybe not as much as you'd like. Yeoman. There's enough Yeoman you can't actually stand on the site long enough for a deke. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Wait, was that part of the plan? I don't think that was part of the plan. Dimmu, he didn't ungarrison. Guys, if you don't ungarrison a villager, it will not reset the stone gathering. Because remember, the way this works is that after 6 minutes, you will excavate a relic. But if you ungarrison and regarrison, then you can just get infinite stone. Cute idea there. Unfortunately for Wham, Dimmu just a little bit too close to the TC. Didn't want to dive in a bit deeper. Yeah, also, like, interesting enough, Wham, this is one of the trade-offs of going Silver Tree, is you are missing the extra range from the Khan Hunter, which would have made a difference there. Do I play AoE or just cast games? I primarily just cast them. I don't think that many people would be interested in me playing them, to be honest. Maybe if there's some interesting formats, I'd be interested. That's like why when historical battles came out, we pounded the pavement on those. Got some world records temporarily along the way. Big flex. So Dumu has gone back for the east side one. Yeah, so he's not letting up on this. This is going to be full mana. And Wham, has he traded now? Okay, yeah, so he moved mostly to the corner. That scout was, I don't know if like he knew about it and then just had to accept this instead. But either way, we do have a deeper trade route now. So getting a little bit better now up to 45 gold. Unfortunately for him, the yeomen are now in position. Spear count is gradually going up, just not insanely fast. So unlikely Dumu is going to be able to hang here for long. Unless, of course, there was a button in the game that gave him a front line. But, you know, no such button would exist in a game like AoE4 because that would, like, be crazy if you just all of a sudden had all the military you needed. Like, maybe if you summon the Demu Lancers? Oh, that's what he's doing, yeah. So, 8 Demi Lancers to hit the field. And while they'll lose against Keshiks, their goal isn't to win against them. Their goal is to make sure the Yeomen don't get touched. Same with the Spears. But now he's going to be backing up. We don't have Billman yet. Yeah, once this tech comes in, things change. The dynamics get very scary for Wham because all of a sudden your Keshiks only have 2 armor. Yeah, we've seen that Chevalier can sometimes feel like plastic because of that. And then there's this unit with even less health. How long before manas pay off? They already have, really. Manas take 3 minutes to pay off, is about right. Because you get the 60 food and the 45 wood, and they cost 300 resources. Then you can, of course, add in the tech ups, which are like, what, 400? Like, maximum it takes you 4 minutes to pay off, I think. You know, you could argue the difference of like, oh, yeah, but you had to harvest resources as well. But I think 4 minutes, 5 minutes max is like the point where you say, yeah, this has definitely been worth it. Yeoman being thrown away like this. Does it feel worth it? I don't want to say it does. Yeah, in the end, he actually loses quite a lot. Because you have to remember, these are very expensive. It's not like you're just losing standard archers. No, these bad boys cost you 95 resources each. A Keshik, only 200 by comparison. So if you get 2 kills, you get above 2 kills as a Keshik, you're happy with the trade. New wave's coming in, and this one looks a lot more scary. If Dimu hadn't lost those yeomen, this, I don't feel like Wham could even stand a chance against this. But because of that split force, he is rallying enough Keshiks to now contest. The spears are going to be the MVPs. The other thing that Wham needs to remove, Dimu needs to protect. Problem is, behind this, you can see Dimu is slowly prepping for castle. If Wham can find a timing here with 50 plus military, Kurtai is going to be really good. Problem is, I don't know if you're going to be able to ever get to 50 plus military if this type of trade out keeps happening. Demi Lancers do get thrown away. So Wham has removed the raiding threat and the front lines simultaneously. Dimu has to go hunker down. I think maybe he's overestimating the value of blocking trade here. It's only 7 so far, so I wonder if Dimu thought it was more and that he needed to address it. Because it feels like the more safe play here is to just take the Castle Age win. Yeah, so we'll retreat back in the base. We're up to 8 at the manas now. And the good thing is, because he actually decided to pull back the army, he didn't kind of like, you know, oh, wow, I can keep pushing, overestimate, and then lose everything. There could be an argument here towards King's College. It's 13 Keshiks. He doesn't see all of them yet. There might be paranoia after that fight that he needs to get White Tower. I think with the assistance and the manas, you could probably get away with just being greedy here. It's just a case of whether you weigh in the risk and it feels worth it. Like, for example, if the game state for Dimu, if you imagine this game is going to be 30 plus minutes long, missing out on King's College is going to feel painful. The discounts over time adding up, and the unique techs, as the game goes on, find more and more uses. But if he thinks this is just Castle Age and then end, there's probably a lot more viability towards White Tower to make you safe, and then you just send it into the enemy base afterwards. And there we go, King's College. So he's aware of the potential for it to scale. I think that's also a stylistic standpoint. Dimu happy with kind of like later phase of the game, and Wham, no stranger to it either. Wham did see the tech up, so likely we'll see no more production. I say as he queues up more archers. And no, if you don't go for King's College, the unique techs in here will not be available later on. It's not like Royal Institute. If you don't take this landmark, you miss out on all those key techs. About all of them, I mean mainly 2 of them. The 2 that really matter are kill training and collar vesses. I think the other ones are much more situational. I mean, military tactics training definitely would feel good generically in hyper late game. Obviously, ships to the crown requires water. Burgundian imports, you don't have too many games where like mass hand cannoneering seems to be the go-to for Lancaster. Because a reminder, the Burgundian imports doesn't just make it so you can build them in Castle Age, it also makes them cheaper. And then Warwolf Trebuchets feels super situational. You know, the extra range does sound nice, but I don't feel like often you need it. Maybe in the old meta where Springles countered Siege, I think Warwolf Trebuchet as a tech made a lot more sense. But while +2 range is nice now, it doesn't feel like a necessity. A little bit of poke on the backside just from the scout. Keep an eye on things and being annoying. We do have the Keshik still rotating, but... Hold on a sec. Has he been invited into the base? He has. Yeoman upgrade is coming through. Charge through does find, what, 1 worker kill? I don't even know if he got 1. I think he just lost troops and killed nothing. That's ridiculous. Textiles coming in clutch there, so wham. Not able to claim any heads. Just loses out. Does have Kurultai coming in, so he did opt for the bulk and go type maneuver. We said about having 50 plus military. You know, he's sitting at 37, 23 of which are archers. I don't think the timing is really there for the Kurultai to be impactful. Probably feels like he needs it as a necessity, and we have to remember he does have trade, so the value of step redoubt decreases excessively with that detail. Alright, looks like the Heavenly Arrow is about to come in. Synchronized shot complete. Archers are not going to like that. Yeah, Kurultai great when you're taking trickle damage. Not so great when you take full burst and die. That plus heal doesn't really help at that point. Speaking of which, Sting Shot, nice hit there. I think he only got 3. Yeah, wasn't able to get the full saturation. However, these Keshiks are not upgraded yet. To make matters worse, they just got stabbed by Billman. Yeah, and you're just seeing that snipe effect we were talking about. Like, the healing just only matters if you can get away from the engagement. That feels impossible here. With the Yam, you would be faster. But remember, Wham, he forgot the Yam. Say that 10 times. He went into castle, he didn't prioritize it. So the archers just get completely obliterated. There's nothing left of him. He has got the static emplacements, but army-wise, he's been picked to the bone. Okay, yeah, and the yeoman can just ride on deeper looking for villager kills now. Wham, you might think he's ahead because you look up and see 17 worker difference, but remember, it's the manners. The manners are making this an even exchange situation for Dimmu. Love this as well, just kind of poking in back and forth. Second wave is coming in, that's going to be spears. And that should be the clear power he needs to deal with the outposts. Outposts which don't have Springles coming. I cannot believe this. There is infinite stone generation on the map with these Forgotten Ruins, but instead of getting Springles, it's going to be measly arrow slits. Is he going to let him deploy? Nope. Reinforcements arriving and he doesn't even have the Keshik buff. Because the Kurultai can't deploy. Oh, might be able to move in now. Looks like Dimmu's going to trade with the back line. Wait, just please, for the love of... Okay, we found it. The Kurultai has a home now. Dimmu has only got Earl's Guard here, so no spears. So in theory, the Keshiks could keep pushing. The number's just a little bit too low. And Wham now has a very big problem. He can't trade. He's going to have to trade to the west side, a little bit more risky, and won't be as valuable. Yeah, things are just looking really good for Dimmu, and they're about to get much better. We've got the Shah Levy coming in. This is an insane timing you get. He's going to end up with an additional 17 yeomen to his count. Wham only has 4 traders left. It's a little bit underwhelming. So how does Wham get back in this now? You could maybe hunker down with static emplacements, but you need a lot of stone for that, and he's lacking. Big time. Whoa, what? He valued the pastures more. He never moved to a new Uvu. There's one right here, he didn't take it. Also, stone gen wise, he never garrisoned someone in the Forgotten Ruins. Like, he has 0 stone income as Mongols. So no spawn emplacements, no double production. Without that, it's a struggle to see how you survive what's coming here. In fact, this is the type of game I'd love to see Dumu just maybe go for siege engineering. Just be want to see rams close to the enemy base and start poking in. That way you can just lean even more into yeoman. Because at this stage, I think you just have critical mass. And the Keshet Trickle is not going to be able to get anywhere near you before they die. And wow. Okay, that's it. Nothing left in the chamber. GG gets called. Benny Boy shows you that Lancaster have found a new map, but they actually may be considered S tier.